name's John Brewer, affectionately known as South Florida's restaurant guy, and I got a great comment from Tasty Donut HD, and I wanted to take the time to actually do a video and address this. So I've got almost perfect credit and worked and managed pizzerias for a bit, and know I have a real passion for the craft. I found a decent building for myself that would need to be fitted from a basic retail location to a restaurant space. I obviously don't have $100,000 in the bank to show a landlord, like I assume most people who work in the food service industry. So how does the average person who wants to open their first restaurant ever get a chance if that's the case? My father runs a business of his own with great business credit and tells me he is able to get a substantial business loan. Does that mean the place should be put onto both our names and we just tell the landlord that we have credit from a bank? The previous place I worked at averaged $35,000 a month in sales with an almost senile owner that closed very early and drove off lots of potential customers over several years. I know I could double that if I were to take over the space, but he won't budge in selling. So my only option is to build my own place. Is this what you refer to when you say investors, like a family member with funds to pay for startup costs? Great questions. The answer is basically yes. If you're a first-time restaurant operator, Tasty Donut, you're what I call sweat equity. You've got a lot of passion for the business, you've got a lot of knowledge of the business, but you don't have financing. So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a backer, just like your dad or somebody like your dad who's willing to put their name on the lease or put their name into a corporation or an LLC that you're gonna form to go to that landlord to convince them to lease space to you, basically. Now, my first thing I'm concerned with here is you're looking at a space that's basic retail. I'm not a big fan of that because restaurants, as you know, there's things called impact fees, there's a grease trap, that place has to be outfitted as a restaurant. You're talking about a lot of money up front. What I would recommend that you do is try to find a location that's a second-gen restaurant space that you could go into. It obviously sounds like you have the passion for the business. I mean, you're doing great work at this pizzeria right now. I'd put my money on you if you were to start a business, but that being said, what I would recommend is making a great resume. Put all your experience down, put all your dad's experience down, make a nice presentation. I get so many restaurants that just want to go lease a space. If you're a first-time person, you know you lack certain areas that are going to impress a landlord, whether it's financials, whether it's the fact that you really don't have a track record as far as businesses go. So we need to dress up the other areas. Any articles that were written about you, any experiences you have, speaking the language of restaurants, all this stuff we can put together so we can present something to a landlord. You might have to go with less of an institutional landlord. You're bigger people that look for nationals, you're more popular, you're more bigger centers, that might not be the place to go. What we would do is look for a nice little strip center, something that's local in your neighborhood, something that you know is in a good demographic. Get yourself a commercial broker to help you with this. Make sure you interview a few. What you need is a good tenant rep agent. A tenant rep agent works for you, not the landlord. They're going to negotiate your lease. They're going to help you site select, and they're going to help you put a nice presentation together to give you the best chance to get a lease. So, Tasty Donut HD, I really appreciate you shouting out. If anybody out there has questions for me, I love stuff like this. I love to help the little guy get into restaurants. What I love about restaurants is the best restaurants I go to are locally owned. They're independently operated. They're our last bastion of small business when it comes to a lot of this stuff. A hardware store has been taken over by big guys. Supermarkets been taken over by big guys. I love to go to small independent restaurants. So I hope this helps you guys. If you have any more questions, please post them in the comments here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm John Brewer. I'm South Florida's restaurant guy, and I'll talk to you later.